pro-life stuff on this Pro-Life Open Forum. We go now to Jimmy in Westville, Virginia, listening on 89.7 FM. Jimmy, so happy to have you here with us. Your question for Trent.
Hey, thank you, gentlemen, for taking my call. I have a question. If all these people that are pro-life, how many children do you guys foster or have adopted to alleviate the problem? With 7.2 billion people in this planet, I think that abortion and contraception is good for society, and I think you're crossing dangerous territory when the man has or they think they have the right to tell a woman what she can do with her body. What is your input on that?
Okay, so you're wondering, a question for me in particular, how many children have I adopted?
And or fostered to alleviate the problem in society with all these children that are in foster care and in need of adoption.
Well, I haven't adopted any, but I don't see how it's relevant at all to the question of whether it's okay to kill a human being in the womb through abortion. So let's just assume I'm a very, very bad person, that I don't like children. Actually, if anyone knows me, I very much like children. Ever since having children, I see the world a lot more from their perspective.
I don't find they like you that much. I mean, maybe your own do, but other
maybe.
Sorry.
Or children at heart, like my co-host
I'll go back to being quiet. Yes, I like you, Trent.
Sai, go play with your blocks in the corner,
all right,
please.
Okay.
So let's say I don't like children, or I hate children, or I'm mean to children. How does that fact that, let's say I'm a really bad person, Jimmy. Let's say I, Trent Horn, am a terrible, terrible person. How does that change the fact that abortion unjustly ends the life of a human being? How would me being a selfish, bad person who's never adopted anyone, how does that change the fact that abortion unjustly takes the life of a human being before they're born? How does that change it?
Well, it doesn't change it. It's just that you're going to help with the situation that the problem is with all these children that are in need of foster care or adoption.
Well, how about all these kids that are in foster care? Why don't we just kill them?
Now, that would be murder because they're already born. They already came out of the womb.
Why is
being a human being?
Okay, well, let me ask you another question then. Why is it okay to kill a human being before he is born, but not after he's born?
Because that's a woman's right to choose. I don't think anybody has the right to choose to tell a woman what she can do with her body.
Why?
That's her body. I'll give you an example, God created everybody not in a lab. He didn't get in the lab. So when you go to a doctor, they push these pills when the answer is in nature. So there are certain plants that are illegal that you're not allowed to take, and it comes from nature.
All right.
So when it's the same, is almost the equivalent to a man telling or the government telling a woman what she can and cannot do with her body. I think that's very dangerous.
Is an unborn baby a literal part of a woman's body, or is the baby, do they have their own body?
Oh, it's part of the woman's body.
What part?
The uterus.
The baby.
The body.
The baby is the uterus?
No, the baby is not the uterus.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. If the baby is a part of a woman's body, Jimmy, how many brains does a pregnant woman have?
One.
Well, wait a minute.
A pregnant woman would have to do two.
Oh, a pregnant woman has two brains. How many?
Yeah, she had one for herself, and the one that's forming inside her womb. And I get what you're going, sir. But the thing is the fact that
I don't think you quite get it. Let me try again. How many male pieces of genitalia do women have?
None.
Okay, so if a pregnant woman has a boy fetus inside of her, she would have none or one?
Okay, one. If you want to, yeah. One.
Okay, I think you can see, Jimmy, that this is very nonsensical here. That the unborn child, how could it be a part of a woman's body? I agree with you, the child is inside of the woman's body. It's growing. But you end up, if you really truly believe the unborn child is a part of a woman's body, then you end up believing just these very nonsensical things like a person can have two brains, women can have male genitalia, which unfortunately many people believe that nonsense today even. That you believe all that it seems like your argument, you're reflexively embracing that. Because you think that basically because a woman has power over herself, she can exert that power in any way she wants over the human being in her womb. Is that your position?
That's correct, because that's her body.
So
that is her body.
What is a fetus?
An unborn child.
Okay, so what do we call it when a person can treat a child however they want, including kill the child?
When it's already born, is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, what is it called when you can treat a child or a human being however you want? You can own them, you can do whatever you want with them. What do we call that?
Slavery?
Yeah, so it sounds like to me, if you're saying that a fetus is an unborn child, and a woman can do whatever she wants with a fetus, including to kill it, you are advocating for a modern form of slavery.
I'm not advocating for that. I'm just advocating for the woman's right to choose.
Right to choose what?
Regardless of the circumstances. We're always going to have, everybody,
Jimmy,
especially men, are going to have...
Jimmy, right to choose what?
Right to choose to do what she wants with her body.
And so...
Whether she wants to...
for the right to choose to have an abortion, right?
Yes.
And what is abortion?
The termination of a pregnancy.
What is a pregnancy?
Fetus that's developing inside a woman's womb.
Okay, and you already said a fetus is an unborn child, right?
That's correct.
So what you're arguing for is the right of a woman to terminate her unborn child.
Shall she choose? Yes.
So by terminate, you mean kill?
However you want to word it, it's yes.
Okay, so our listeners can just put that together. I am arguing for the position all human beings are equal and that we should protect the right to life of all humans, and your position is just women should be allowed to kill children. I think that's a fair description. I have carefully defined every single term that we've used, and so I'm just going to have to let those who are listening, they can see which is the more compassionate and civilized position among us. And so I'll let our listeners draw from that. And I think it's quite obvious, the one that's the view that is not for killing children. So I'll let our listeners decide from there.
Jimmy, thank you so much for that call. It is a pro-life open forum today, 888-318-7884.